Good morning, everybody. This is going to be an intro to a series of videos here real quick. We'll take about 15 minutes showing you guys some of the fertilizing, some of the land leveling, and then talking about the machine. And we got busy yesterday and I didn't get time to actually film the machine working. So we're going to leave a other camera up here today to kind of get a good wide angle, hopefully time-lapse view of us laying the plastic. We spent some time yesterday getting the machine tuned so that it was doing a good job, laying a nice firm bed with a good shoulder and getting our spacing between our rows just right. That we want to keep a nice firm bed because that allows us to plant and water and just operate the field a lot easier. So I hope you enjoy some of our antics out here as we put fertilizer on the field and get the field prepped and ready for more plastic. We're out here with Mike, and Chris is coming up, and Junior's on his way with some plastic and drip. You got Nate the farmer here, and we are improvising, okay? So we got the fertilizer here, and when it got to us, it had some problems with it. So go, Mike. Now, as you can see, all these big old clods right here are a problem. Little bitty small things can develop major problems because when I meter out the fertilizer by opening up the little gates on the bottom of the spreader, well, big stuff like this right here gets in those holes and won't let the fertilizer out. It'll either completely stop it up or it'll restrict the flow so that when I think I'm putting out, say, 600 pound of 10, 20, 20 per acre, I'm only putting out maybe 2 or 3. Now, a little bit of moisture you can deal with as long as it will break it down. When it gets so bad that there's this many rocks in it, that's no bueno. Chris won't come get in the camera. Don't worry, man. Come on, flatter yourself. Look how good. Look at you good.
It's too early. It's too early.
Too early. What we're doing is we found this old screen. This is an old protective screen that came off of a digging machine we had years ago. It's there to keep you from putting your hands down in all the working mechanisms and having a real bad accident. But we thought, well, it'll make a good screen. So this is a great example of the kind of things on a day-to-day basis we do, guys. Is just kind of find a problem and come up with a quick solution. Because exactly, if that's been overcome, that's good philosophy. I like it. Because when you're on a farm, really when you're on any project, Chris, you painted for a long time. Mike, you were a metal fabricator. A lot of times you can't just stop the program just because you have one issue, even if that issue completely throws everything out of whack. You just have to figure out a method. So once we get that worked out, we'll go out here and we'll start pulling some more plastic. We had about 2 rolls left over from last year while we were waiting on the fresh stuff to come in this morning. We went ahead and what I call tunes the machine, because this machine that pulls these beds is just like an instrument, just like something that you would play. You've got to get it in key. You got to make sure it's sharp or not too sharp or not too flat, that it's playing just the right tune, okay? Some of the previous videos we've done on Facebook years ago show the function of how this machine works, but it does a couple different things. It pulls the soil up into these big plows and then forms the bed. And there's a press on the back that you control by how much down pressure you have on that center link in the back of the tractor. And as I push the tractor down and it collects dirt and starts to fill that up, it forms a really tight, hard bed. So we have this roughly 35-inch bed right here that's good and solid. And underneath it are not 1 but 2 drips. We double drip our strawberries because there's going to be 2 rows of strawberries, so we 2 rows of drip to make sure they get fed equally and evenly. The machine seems to be working pretty good. We were kind of tweaking our spacing. We want it to be roughly 5 foot, but if we get too close to 5 foot, if we're right on 120 inches from that bed to this bed, we can't come down in between and pull the middle bed. This is how we do it. The tractor will run over the edges of the bed, the machine will rip the plastic. It's quite a complex process because not only do the guys that are behind me with the machine have to really know what they're looking for any little problem. They have to monitor how much drip tape the watering pipe is on it, or how much plastic. This stuff comes in big 4,000-foot rolls. They have to keep track of it. And I have to make sure when I'm pulling the tractor, or Junior, if he's driving, the tractor stays as straight as possible. There's an automatic alignment tool on this bedder that we're using that works pretty good. It's not exactly, good enough to keep it perfect for you. You have to stay as straight as you possibly can, because any deviation with the wheel, too many degrees, and that tractor, the entire system reacts to it. And you get this weird little kick in the bed, and you'll see them out there every once in a while. but it's the driver's job to maintain the proper amount of soil, maintain the proper depth and proper speed, and to make sure he drives straight. It can be a very mentally taxing job. Outside you get to do some sweating and you're moving around a lot more, and I would prefer to be behind the machine. But a lot of times I like to get up in the tractor, because if it's going to be messed up, I want it to be my fault so that I know who to get aggravated with. Probably one of the best, straightest row pulling guys I ever met in my life is my dad. He's really good at it. It took a long time learning how to do it. And this machine we're using out here, this is a rainflow machine, a 2600 series. It's like the third or fourth incarnation of machines I've used. Dad had a Kenco manufacturing machine years ago. They're a company down in Ruskin, Florida. Excellent machine, had been in it for a long time. And we had a Reddick machine for a long time. They were a business on the east coast of North Carolina. They've joined forces with a couple other fumigant companies, and I think they're all called Triest now. And we bought this rainflow because it had an automatic correction system on it. We just wanted to try it out, and we basically worn out our old Reddick machine, and the Kenco machine from back in the day was kaput. Fertilizer spreading behind me there. I've got it metered where it puts out about 600 pounds per acre. That's going to give me about 60 parts of nitrogen. Hold on one second. We're going to cut off the gate there. Now we got to turn around. Well, way out there in the field, one of his juniors on the other tractor, he's using that leveling machine, the S-Time, to smooth up the ground so it's flat and there's no ruts in it. The ruts you see are from the disc, and they're real important because they will allow me to kind of gauge where I put the fertilizer spreader, so we don't get rid of them until we get the fertilizer kicked out at the proper rate. So we'll try to get this done as quick as we can while the fog's still covering up the sun, so we can maintain as much moisture as possible, because we don't want it soaking wet, but we do need it wet enough to form the bed. Because if you've ever made a sandcastle, kind of hard to make a sandcastle with dry sand. You need that soil to be a little bit moist so it'll hold the form you're trying to make it. Now I'm gonna line up and give you guys a little shot here of Junior. As you can see, the back of that thing's got these, they're almost like old-fashioned lawnmowers, but they're not sharp, and they're just kicking the ground up and they're busting up any clods. And in the front, it's got a bunch of S-tines, literally called S's, little cultivators, and it's picking up any leftover junk, leaf litter, trash, dragging it out to the end of the field. You'll see the feet are full of that stuff. And we'll rip them off and clean them off about every fourth or fifth pass. And as it goes through, they're gonna fill up these ruts, by those fingers being about 16 inches apart. They're gonna evenly distribute the soil, and then the back just goes ahead and levels it out and busts up any of the clods. Hey, Junior! There you go. This machine is a super important part of how we do this. There's a lot of farmers that have different types of machines. Some people rotivate. Some people have versions of those that look a little different. But that's the one we've used. We've had it for a long time. The only downside, it's so wide that even though it gets a lot done at one time, if you got to move from field to field on the road, it could take the whole road up and be pretty difficult to direct traffic. But that's just another obstacle to overcome. So the little geese are going to lose their place to play as we move across the field here. I'm going to continue to put the fertilizer out, and Junior's going to level. We're going to get this prepped, and then we're going to kick back over to the plastic machine. Once the plastic gets here, my sister is on her way to pick it up for us, and then we're back to working, baby. Well, there you go, guys. Hopefully it's pretty good information on there for you, showing you how we prep the fields and put the fertilizer out and level it. I'll have a couple more series on there of how we plowed it. I'll do some interviews with my dad, some other people involved with this type of agriculture, showing you all the different types of things we grow on plasticulture and the way we do it, at least the way we do it here in Western North Carolina. And maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you won't. Doesn't matter. Hope you had a good time watching the videos either way. You know, Chris and Mike and Junior, they've all gone home to get some well-earned rest, so they're pretty whooped. I got to ride around the tractor all day, so I'm not nearly as tired. I'm awful guilty about it, but somebody has to run the tractor, and I have the most experience, so that's why I'm doing it. I love this kind of work, and as you can see behind me here, we got a lot done. About 10.5 acres right here in this part of the field. We'll go over there behind the produce stand and put another 5 in. And probably have about 12 to 13 acres of strawberries, and we'll put onions and winter greens and squash and cucumbers in the spring. Just try to fill it up and surround it with sunflowers, make it beautiful, clean the whole place up now that we're done, and make it look good. And farm, 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 have a blast at it. You know, as I've said more than once in this video right here, subscribe to these videos, guys. Share them to your friends so people see them, let your family see them. And if you don't, it's okay. Just watch them, have fun. I don't care. I just want to put it out there for people to see. If you like it, it's great. If you don't, I understand. Well, I'm going to go get me a beverage. I think I earned one of them too. Clean up a little bit more right here and get back to work doing something else, plan something else for the farm. We got a lot of hay riding to do here soon, so there's a lot of work to do on that. I love you guys. Be good to your neighbor. Make your community a better place. And work hard. See ya.